Hello, hello, Bl'Artagnan here, bringing you Transcendence Tier 2 Reckoning. It is the long one. This is going to be a bit of a slog. Even going through at 2 times speed, we're going to be more than 15 minutes on this video, so appreciate you hanging around if you do. Bringing kind of the intended team for this, so to speak. I think Garland, Faris, Ignis is basically what a lot of people are probably bringing, some variation of those three with maybe some other people. I figured, since I had him here, I might as well use him. Garland continues to be an absolute wrecking truck. This is really going to be, I think, Faris's first real test as a member of my roster. Used her in, obviously, the other Crucible, but that was more of a lightning show than a Faris show. So we see that kind of bring to zero effect, which is not bad. Not super necessary, given that it was only like 20,000 brave or something, but I'm sure later in the fight that's going to be a bit more appreciated. You'll see that I used Garland's HP attack. My thinking being, I knew this was going to be a long fight. People talked about kind of how lengthy this battle is, and I wanted to try to conserve some of Garland's skills for later in the fight. You'll see it's a good thing I do, because not to get ahead of ourselves, but it does become a bit close. Ooh, love that EX. In the meantime, we're just fighting the Caius bosses, nothing we haven't seen before. They don't have any of their usual, gotta be launch, gotta be instant broken shenanigans. It's really just a slugfest. They have a recast, which I didn't know. I thought it was going to be some kind of we've been kind of conditioned to assume recast means you're gonna get wrecked. And I suppose if you don't break them, it can be dangerous, but it's really a pretty easy recast to manage. I do kind of wish that Faris got free skill use on when she used her LD, just to give her a teensy more longevity. Like, there are little things that could have been done to really make her kit, I think, stand out and feel good to use. Like some of the other utility characters we have. Wouldn't have said no to like 100% splash on her, or not splash, like 100% AoE on her skill 2 or something. I don't think would have been overwhelming and would have still made, would have been still fair without making her busted. Then again, I'm sure everyone, when their favorite character comes out, if they're not, Terra Garland levels are broken, or, things like, I wish they got, a little bit extra. So, hilariously, I actually let the LD debuff fall off of these guys right as they used Metal Quake and got charged the recast, which is exactly when it would have been useful to have them. So that's on me, but that's kind of another example of when it would have been real helpful to have that effect in play. Luckily, it's nothing Garland can't just power through using sheer muscle power, but it highlights some of the utility. I'm trying to decide whether I want to actually use the LD here, and I decide not to because we're pretty close to the end, and I'm once again kind of trying to be conservative here, because I know the second wave is basically 2 waves in a row. I'm trying to be cutesy here by skipping Ignis's EX there. Figuring I could use it now after Garland's gone. Didn't kill A, but that shouldn't be a problem. At this point, I think the recast would just be a brave attack if it hit us, but I didn't know that at the time, so I was kind of trying to get these guys dead. I'm going to go ahead and keep it Ignis in his hyper offense stance. And here, this was kind of a dumb thing. I used Garland's HP attack even though his EX is charged, thinking I'll battery him with Ignis and that'll be awesome. And I think, wait, no, I should LD with Ignis to get the debuff on, and Ignis's LD doesn't battery. So that was a bit of a misplay on my part. Lost probably a good chunk of damage from that. Not enough to completely invalidate the run, but it was like, oops. I planned one step ahead, but I needed to have planned 2 steps, I guess is how that played out. Taking advantage of the attack down from Faris to get through that. They're just little things I like a faster charging EX would be great. The EX itself is great when it works. If it lasted 3 turns, that would be... The fact that it only lasts for 2 turns is like, oh man. So I'm hoping if they ever come out with, the next level of EX, that's something they enhance, is the number of turns that Soldier's Care is in effect, because it's useful, but it doesn't last as long as its power level, I think, kind of deserves. Because it's not this overwhelming force of nature. If Caius can break every time Doom takes down, spoilers for the JP version of the game, I think we can afford to have Soldier's Care last, 3 or 4 turns. So yeah, now we go. There's the big battery DX we were looking for. Just going ahead and wailing away at this bird. Seems to be somewhat inconvenient timing there. I was hoping that Ignis would be the last person to act before the bird, so that he could kind of tank it through their all attack. But it didn't seem to work out that way. As luck would have it, though, instead we just get to use a free Soul of Chaos to charge the EX and push him back. The unfortunate side effect of this is that Garland is behind his turn, and we do not want him acting. So we're going to go ahead and use Ishitola's call effect. So she does make an appearance in this Transcendence, just not as a main party member. Go ahead and use Faris LD there. Charge up my food supply, the delicious curry dish, and spice things up. I think that's my favorite part about using Ignis is making food puns as I'm doing it. If you can't tell from the tone of my voice, I take tremendous joy in doing such things. So at this stage, hoping to save the summon for the last phase of the fight, I'm jumping into the burst now. Gonna try to go ahead and melt him with the old Garland BT effect. A little bit sad since overall this is not I think a great party to bring, specifically because with Faris being as slow as she is, the Garland BT effect is pseudo wasted because we don't have someone who could really abuse it like a Terra or a Lightning, or even someone like a Kryl who at least can kind of turn jump a couple times to take a couple extra turns under its effect would be nice. And, well, I guess Terra makes an appearance as well. Trying to get that, well, squeezing a little bit of extra damage there. Once again, saving Ignis's EX, figuring I'll use it closer to its turn. I end up just using it here, though, because I think about it, I'm like, you know what? I've probably better just have it charged on the next turn. I ended up having to do a wave reset after I ended up misusing my skills, and I summoned really early, and trying to take advantage of the burst effect. It didn't end up being worth it. I ended up being just short on the HP requirement. So this was actually a retry of the final wave. Apologies if you were hoping for a straight-up, continuous, start-to-finish, perfect clear. With the length this fight takes, I was like, I'm not starting this over from scratch. We're just gonna play this out from this point. Take a break there and bring it down to 0 with Faris's LD. I imagine there are probably some situations against really fast bosses where that, bring down to 0 is probably really helpful, because otherwise they can kind of set up really awkward positions for you. Then again, I don't know if you want to be bringing a really fast boss, or Faris to a really fast boss fight because of her speed. I figure if I'm going to be talking about Faris, this is probably, the fight designed to showcase her is probably the place to do it, right? So, once again, figuring I'm going to be pushing everyone behind Ignis so we can use his EX to sneak an extra EX in there, but I didn't realize that his Garland's EX buff had run out because I've been spamming HP attacks. Luckily, the break order works out for us, and Faris is able to push them back using her skill 2. And now Garland can go ahead and refresh that EX buff. A lot of our recent quests have been, I guess, since it's Garland's synergy cycle, the fact that he's able to just kind of stomp through things and skill spam has made it. I kind of forgot how that whole thing works. That is, forgetting that his delays come from his EX buff, which you have to actually maintain. I'd gotten kind of used to it just always being up there skill spamming. Taking a quick moment to refresh Ignis's regroup buff, first aid, since I know these guys you can't heal while they're in their white form. Somewhat ironically, we then took damage. My plan is to save the final regroup for the very end of the fight, assuming we're going to take some HP damage along the way. It's a very interesting mechanic, this whole no healing aura. It definitely takes some getting used to. I know in during I think the Cosmos or the Chaos, I definitely found myself being surprised when Lightning went to 0 health, because I didn't realize that it did that during those. I thought it was a Lufenia exclusive mechanic, so when they did it and then Lightning used her EX and went down to like 0, I was like, well, what happened there? Whoa. That was kind of funny. But I can't say I mind it. Obviously you don't want to bring HP regen to fight these guys, but you can still bring burst healers and get around it, provided they're not absolutely chunking you consecutively while they're in the white phase. There we go. Chunking them with the overwhelm. Ooh, this is tempting. I really wanted to do the big battery DX there, but I felt it was important to stretch out his skills as much as possible and take advantage of that free skill. But man, it felt bad having to use that round edge when he was at full battery. Oh boy, they're in killer mode. They're gonna kill. Caw-caw! They're also a lot nicer to look at than the Hot Wheels. Those things were just kind of upsetting. You look at them and you're like, oh no, this is gonna suck. These guys you look at and you're like, oh, you're parrots. Parrots are nice. I say as they break my pirate. Jerks. Sounds a bit scary. You can't take too many of those. That's gonna be a problem if they do that too many times, because we have healing, but obviously we can't use it. So we're getting into a pretty tricky position. We'll use our last round edge. I'll miss that. Something else I ended up doing in my first attempt at this wave was I ended up running out of Garland's LD overhead, which was another big pain. So it's a weird mix of, you want to pace your skills, but not pace them so much that you run out of your important buffs. Because Round Edge is cool, but Round Edge without the Chains of Time follow-up is a little bit less impressive. There we go. Ah, nuts. Getting close, though. We're now popping the summon. We're really kind of... They're not the only ones who went into killer mode, really, is what I'm trying to say. Faris using her second to last skill usage in total, which is a little bit nerve-wracking. Gonna tell you right out, this is not gonna be a clean fight finish. This is gonna get a little bit ugly. Trying to charge his EX there. Go ahead and chunk B. We're getting close. B is almost dead. Trying to conserve those last few skill uses on Garland. Kind of getting a little bit frantic trying to figure out what to do here, because I knew that B is about to hit us with another AoE attack. I was hoping that would kill him. It did not, and that was pretty rough. Luckily, Faris, we got a lucky miss there. I think that probably saved us. It's possible that we could have gotten by without it, but I want to think that lucky miss is kind of what helped us survive that hit. Now we can regroup and really just take this guy down. This has been a marathon. I appreciate you sticking around if you have stuck around for the entire run. I end up going to memory lane the pastry sense here just for that HP regen for this final end of the fight in case he uses an HP attack, which he doesn't. Which means Garland can close things out in stylish fashion with a fully batteried EX. That feels so good. There you go. Transcendence Tier 2 Reckoning completed. With a fairly cookie-cutter team, but fun units to use, and I think that counts for a lot. There we go, perfect. I hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe like and subscribe if you did, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Adios.